Okay, my first income stream as a digital nomad is teaching English online. I started in 2015-ish, yeah, and it was my first remote job. And it's a great place to start if you're new to making money online. It's usually easier, especially if you have a 4-year degree or a teaching certificate, but you don't need that. Like, I did get a teaching certificate, like 50-hour ESL certificate, and nobody's ever asked me for that, so I don't know. It depends on the company, I guess. I do have a 4-year degree, but again, it's not required. The biggest downside to teaching is probably it's usually kind of shit pay. It depends where you're working and if you have existing expertise. So if you're serious about it, I would say invest in building a student base and almost like treating it like a brand or a business. And a lot of times with a lot of companies, you can scale your income based on how many students you have and how well you do. In my peak, I was probably making like $1,000 a month for part-time, which isn't bad, especially depending where you're living. These days, it's a much smaller portion because I've shifted focus to my other income streams. I'll leave some links below of schools that I've worked for or recommend. So my second income stream is I have a couple personal blogs. I make money through affiliate marketing, brand partnerships, and ad placement. It's a smaller portion, especially since like AI and Google updates, changing user behavior. I've lost like 70-80% of my traffic, but moving into 2026, a big focus of mine is to revive that traffic and focus more on like this brand, No Compass. And I also have an art and music project because it's way more fulfilling and exciting, and it has the highest leverage long-term. So I would recommend, if you're interested in like creating content or building a brand, that's definitely worth your time. But the biggest downside is it takes time and it's not easy. But if you keep showing up with anything for say 2-3 hours a day, long term, you will have results at some point. And then my third income stream is the bulk of my income as a digital nomad, and that is freelancing. I started freelancing in 2020 and I had no experience. I had started blogging at that point, so I had some understanding of like SEO and keyword research, and I was very interested in it. So that was able to get me an entry-level gig, which led me to a long-term relationship with a couple clients. And I was able to make a full-time income just from a couple clients that I found through Upwork for 3-4 years. But the biggest downside is usually if you're freelancing, you have to continually source new clients, sometimes every month. And that can be exhausting and a little bit unpredictable depending on if you're just starting out or if you have an established brand with a lot of social proof, it's easier. My biggest mistake was I did not diversify my client pool. So I just had one core client, and when they left, I was left with no money. And I was out of practice of finding clients because it had been a while. There was no pressure for me to find more work because I didn't need to. So I would just be aware of that. And no matter what path you're choosing, have something figured out before you leave and go travel, because I've been there, like where you have rent due in like next week and you need to find money quick, and that's really stressful. So I would say make sure you're set up, whether it's teaching or freelancing, or if you're building a blog that's going to be long-term, or like any sort of content machine. The only reason something would happen quick is like if you have experience, a mentor, money to invest, or luck, and luck's not sustainable. So stay patient, and it's definitely doable. If you just focus on anything for a couple hours a day consistently, you will have results. It's just don't quit, right? And that's it. Those are my 3 income streams. Moving into 2026, I'll be focusing more on like this channel and this brand and my other creative projects. But if you like this type of content about nomadic lifestyle and traveling, consider subscribing. Otherwise, thanks for watching, like the video, and I'll see you next time. Later.